Everything and everyone, it would seem, is now on opposite sides of the age-old question. Who and what is anti-Semitic? Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Spain, X, Google, Airbnb, and what about Zion Dawn, as he's known to his detractors? In the undercurrents of today's clashes, an interesting post from way back by a Jewish writer from a Jerusalem think tank that dismisses the core of neo-paganism and warns that primal Gentile reverence for nature poses a real threat, and echoes that of the eternal mustache villain and his eco-fascist vision, and moreover, how love of nature challenges the foundations of urban Jewish cultural dominance.
A very important question for the chosen ones.
Is nature anti-Semitic? Well, it's harsh, unyielding, and a force devoid of pity for the vulnerable or ideals of equality and mercy, much like the forgotten German roots of early environmental laws that modern Greens would rather ignore. Thus, by elevating the natural world to society's core value, well, this risks unraveling Jewish traditions. And this is why it's very important that the tribe keep a wary eye on everyone, from fringe pagans to committed eco-activists, as they counter the very principles of the Torah and Noahide laws. Oy vey, it's not just feel-good folklore. A pagan revival could spell trouble for the Jewish path forward for Western societies, and thus the question not only needs to be asked, but also answered.
Is nature dangerous?
I think it is, says.
The Jewish author Dr. Manfred Gerstenfeld, writing for the Jerusalem Center for Security and Public Affairs way back in 1999, had a very interesting, and I think in 2025, a very timely concern as it comes to the unwinding of Christianity in the West. In his polemic, he's very critical of many aspects of neo-paganism and modern spirituality. And in his paper, he goes on to explicitly identify the traditional and organic paganism, as well as Gentile reverence for nature, as being a direct threat for and to urbanite Jewish spiritual hegemony.
Let's be clear. It's the apocalypse for the chosen few, and a shemazel for nature-nuzzling schlemiels.
A few choice quotes from the paper.
The ancient revulsion with regard to paganism felt by adherents of Judaism links up with the need to take stock of these contemporary phenomena. Nature is not sacred, and its laws represent barbarity. The Noahide laws represent civil society. There are many reasons for Jewish observers to watch attentively which direction the powerful renewed interest in nature will take, and what consequences this may have for world Jewry. Few people realize, and contemporary German Greens prefer not to be reminded of it, that the first major nature protection laws were issued of all places in 1930s Germany. Furthermore, I postulate that no nation in the 20th century has lived as much in harmony with nature as the eternal mustached villains Germany. So soon after the mustached villains Germany, which proclaimed the same, one has again forgotten what dangers the elevation of nature as a norm brings with it, for the handicapped, the non-binary outsiders, the elderly, and interracial societies. Halakha is the antithesis of the laws of nature. The latter are cruel. There is no charity in nature. There is no mercy. There is no safety net in nature for marginal beings. There is no equality in nature or anything resembling democracy. Nature should be feared. Anybody who places nature as the central value in society must be suspect in the eyes of Jews. One should not lump together neo-Nazis, neo-pagans, and extreme environmentalists. Yet all should be watched carefully by Jews, even if the degree of worry they cause greatly differs. So what does the return of paganism mean for Judaism? It forces us to focus on the importance of Jewish law and tradition, which proclaims that nature is not the dominant force in the world, nor is it sacred. Nature's laws represent the world of the savage and barbarian. The Noahide laws represent civil society. Nothing good for the Jews, nor for society at large, can come out of a worldwide strengthening of paganism.
In the end, this Jewish manifesto strips away the Goyim's starry-eyed fixation over trees, dirt, and blood and soil fantasies, and that it isn't some harmless hippie resurgence or feel-good folklore to replace a dying Christianity in the West. It's supposedly a stealthy resurgence of the raw, eugenics-tinged handicapped culling that fueled the Third Reich, and a direct threat and challenge to the civilized order of urban Jewish law, where mercy's a mitzvah, not a myth. Neo-pagans, green-leaning groups, and right-wing revivalists all warrant, supposedly, the same wary scrutiny from the tribe, as they are harbingers of disruption and cockblocks to the Noahides' dominant position in the West. Since prioritizing nature's merciless hierarchy over the Torah's structured benevolence dooms the assimilated masses and their multicultural utopian mirages alike. Indeed, pagan revival and green environmentalists are not seen as flower power malcontents by the tribe. No, in fact, it's an apocalypse for the chosen few and a shamazel for nature-nuzzling schlemiels. At least according to the Jerusalem Center for Security and Public Affairs. So then, what do you think? Well, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below, and also thank you, as always, for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.